Bom dia, tudo bem? Hoje é sexta-feira, 26 de setembro, and today's plan is to hit up Praia de Arapuca, very first thing. Low tide is not until 12:30, so I can't go too early, but I'm going to leave here about 9, get some background shots and see if I can kind of sneak down there early. One way to Pico Castelo de Princesa is about 1.5 miles, should be about a 3-mile round trip for me, and a nice beach walk on Praia de Arapuca this morning, so I'm really looking forward to that. After that, I'll wind up spending the afternoon at Tambaba, come back here and kind of prep for leaving. I got to check out tomorrow, not till noon, but my check-in in Jampa is until 3, so I'm actually going to check out kind of early and just spend most of the day at Tambaba for my final day here before I leave. The wind outside is just so violent. It just is so unfriendly and unwelcoming. It just never stops. Maybe I just associate strong winds with storms back home, because we just don't get this kind of wind, a sustained heavy wind back home. And when we do, it's from storms. It's just violent, and it's stressful because I just keep waiting for things to break. It looks like we got a little jangada heading out for his catch of the day. I hear that little trolling motor all the way up here, which is a good sign because it means that the wind's not blowing. Very cool.
Continue on PB008 for 1 kilometer.
All right, here we go. Cars just act as auto start stop is just a hassle. You come to a complete stop and the engine just kills off. I'm glad there's a bypass, but you gotta do it all the time. All right, here we go. Friday, we'll see if the traffic's any different or not today. We're gonna start out with a beach walk up Praia de Arapuca. Hopefully the tide is just low enough and I can sneak by. And maybe we'll be by Tambaba by 10:30 or so. We'll see. All right, that's it. Plenty of parking. So that's where you typically pull down. I can already kind of make out. Heights are not my thing, but yeah, you can make out a couple of Luque Receptivos. There's another little Moranchi there, but that's the entrance to Praia de Tambaba. Amazing sunny day. Couldn't have asked for a better day. Definitely different than last year, but that's not the best view. It's this. For me, it doesn't get much better than that. Spectacular. Looks like the tide's going to cooperate. I can jump down there. 9:15 is nice. All right, that's it. Quick hit and run, just how I like it. We're going to go park, see my $5 friend down there, and then take a walk north of here a little bit. All right, that's it. I hate this car. This car is a piece of garbage. I've actually remembered seeing a pescador up on that rock before. I just like, obviously there's no services around here. This is just one of the most dramatic beaches I think I've ever experienced firsthand in person. This is kind of rocky and stony here. As you get up more north, it turns more sand, and you see why you've got to wait till low tide. Fortunately, I don't have to bust it back. Tide's rolling out as we speak now. Anyway, and this, but again, if you see any later in the day, it's gonna be tough. All right, so I wouldn't do this walk with any less than 3 hours of low tide. So for example, if say low tide is at 12 noon, I would not attempt this before 9 a.m. 9 a.m. is pushing it. It's 9:30 now, and it's kind of pushing it. So keep that in mind. It's just these cliffs are just right in your face, right up against the ocean. You can see how the rain creates those gullies, but just absolutely stunning stretch of beach. And of course it's abandonado, completely deserted. You know, no services, the access is not easy. You only have access for a few hours a day, but just stunning, absolutely stunning. Dia perfeito. Dia perfeito. Ondas fortes. Surf's a little rough out here. I've seen surfers in the past out in this direction, but it's these colors. These colors just really, really pop. All right, so I've only been walking for about 3/4 of a mile, and I did see someone on the beach, and they ducked up into those ravines. I don't know if there's a trail access up there. It's certainly it drops off. The dramatic cliffs kind of end and turn into more traditional dunes, or at least a mix of dunes and sandstone. I also think that there's trails from the Castelo de Pico de Princesa, the Castle Peak Princess place, which we'll see from the beach. But nothing that would allow for mass movement of people. It's disappointing to see so much garbage here. I don't know. Yeah, like there's just bags of trash. I don't know. Yeah, looks like some chick actually just walked, like long pants, long yellow shirt, bag. So clearly you're able to get down there. I don't know where you park, maybe it's a private residence, I don't know, but well, it's actually surprising to me. Oh, you know what? I do see umbrellas. I'm thinking there's some bungalows up there, which the few years ago I walked this beach, it seemed abandoned. Maybe they're not. I know they're high priced. I'm guessing that's where those bungalows are. I'm not sure. I don't recall seeing bungalows last year. But look at those waves there. That is not swimmable. Well, it looks like civilization picked back up pretty quick. Wah wah. Well, that's where I came from. Again, this is obstacle number 2, which I can't cross out there. That's not going to happen. This is really the only way. Maybe there's a trail up there. There probably is. I don't know what my chances are getting through there. I'd like to. Castle Peak is right up through there. All right, that's it. Victory! I made it. So that is on the outskirts of southern Picarino. Picarino is a crazy place. It's like, I don't know, like Las Vegas on the, maybe no, that's like probably the Dunga near Maceo. It's just like a alcohol-fueled younger person's party beach. Great music, I mean, you name it, trash, buggies. Don't go to Picarino if you want peace and quiet. Beautiful beaches. But I think that's it up there. It's kind of the outskirts of Picarino. And Castle Peak Princess should just be right up here on our left. That's it. Chegamos. We have arrived. Oh, the sea is angry. Hopefully not at me. Well, that's it. That was my goal. I've seen it from up top. Actually, Kelvin and I visited up top there last year. Visited a couple times before. I'm happy to see there's no buggy traffic on the beach. That's good. But you'll see drones, you'll see tourists. There's a little bar up there and stuff. But I made it here in 20 minutes. Unintentionally fast. Unintentionally fast. All right, let's head back. Enjoy the day at Tambaba. That's it. You up for a swim? I don't think so, unless you're a Brazilian Aquaman. No thanks. You can see the palm tree in Tambaba, which I've got to get some pictures of today before I leave. I just noticed you can see the entrance down. I see some cars driving down the driveway to park there. We're getting there. Maybe see or not. You see what a difference just a half an hour made. I should be able just to skip right by these rocks. There's a little hidden beach up here on the left. Nice little cove, gentle waves. That again only opens up at low tide. We'll see if we can get some photos in there. So yeah, this is about 2 hours before low tide. And again, if you could do this in shallow water, but you're not going to see these giant rocks, and you're going to wind up breaking yourself, breaking your foot or something, tearing yourself up. Ideally, I would do this probably 2 hours before. But really, beach-wise, beautiful, swimming-wise, that's just not, you're not going to get me in there. Not going to happen. So if you look up there, try and crop in where those brasileiros are. That's where I was earlier, up on that Moranchi up there. You get a pretty good view. Some of that vegetation blocks it, but really is a nice wide view of Praia de Arapuca. You can't quite see around the bend of Caminhada, but you get a really good idea of just how dramatic and how colorful this beach is. Man, water just cranking out of here. So the entrance is literally right there. There's some fishing line and a stick jammed in the earth, tied to a tree. But the little hidden beach I was talking about is right around this little cove right here. So if you come in, go to your right, you're going to see this beautiful little cove beach, just nestled among all this other natural beauty. Really cool. This is the little cove I was talking about, where at low tide you kind of have it all to yourself. Nice little. Oh, there's a little jangada there. Probably hasn't worked in 50 years, but. And then Praia de Arapuca right here. I think it's called as like a Praia de Escondido, a little like hidden beach or something like that. But again, you've only got a few hours to enjoy it. There's just some people over there. I wonder if that couple from earlier. I don't know. But yeah, if you're near Jacumã, you really don't want to miss Praia de Arapuca. One of the most stunning, visually stunning beaches I've ever seen. 5-star. Highly recommend it. A little windy, surf's a little strong, but hey. All right, so yeah, I just popped up here, but just for reference. So like it was lightly sprinkling yesterday, but by the time I got here, it was a monsoon downpour, and I was everything with me was completely and utterly drenched. There was water coming down here, and I did have a fear that, oh my gosh, this is all just gonna melt away and whatever, but pretty intense experience. Glad it happened. It's a story I can tell now. Super fun. But just imagine this with just sheets of rain. The funny thing is though, it's the only time I remember, oh shit, not hearing or feeling the wind. Of course, maybe I couldn't hear it because the rain was so loud. I wanted to get my camera out, but it was so... Well, surprisingly enough, I was expecting more cars. I've seen people parked right up to here. It being a Friday, I don't know, is a 3-day weekend a Brazilian thing, or is that a distinctly American thing? I don't know. Maybe they had a few here, but that's good. No, that's awesome. It's 10:30, so I think first time I got here was about 9:30. So, all right, let's go have some fun. That's it. Okay, this is Google says 7 minutes back to the Residencia Terminal. Wow, that was a very interesting afternoon at the beach. You never know what you're going to see. Once, I don't claim to have seen it all, but you just sometimes you see things and you just think, wow, it's a big world out there. Sheesh. That was fun. All right, head back, get a little snack going here, and get these people out of my way. Oh my god. Yeah, great day at the beach. It was really, boy, the vibe really changes in Tambaba like after 2-ish or so. Really changes, quite different. Not in a bad way. All right, that's it. All right, coming back from the beach, and when I'm greeted by this view, especially when the sun's behind me and just hitting the water, lighting it up, amazing clarity today. This view really never gets old. $50 a night for this place is just crazy. Got to unpack my beach bag, check up some emails. Dinner's going to be, I got 2 hours before any place opens for dinner, which is fine. And got to get packed up for tomorrow. We'll be leaving for Jampa tomorrow. Late check-in, 3 p.m. I don't know why or how they justify such a late check-in. But anyway, tonight's our last night here in Jacumã before we got a week in Jampa. So that's always going to be fun. All right, that's it. When you're located like at 7 degrees south latitude in September, that sun is just smoking closer to us right now. What is amazing is what a difference an hour makes in terms of daylight. Official sunset time, I think, is like 5:16. So we're looking at sunset in 20 minutes, 20 after 5. I'm the first one to say summer in Michigan is too light, too long. I don't need 17, 18 hours of daylight. I actually get used to this easier. It's dark by 6, and I'm fine with that. I'm completely fine with that. Better that than 9:30 back home or whatever. I like too that the sun's up at 5 o'clock. I think official sunrise time is 5:08. So nice balance, 12 hours day, 12 hours night, 5 to 5. I could deal with that.